Hey everybody, welcome to No Bones About Wrestling. I'm your host Asa, and I'm here with Kay Fabulous.
Hey.
And this is your WWE Money in the Bank preview and prediction show. Where would you be without us, huh? To guide you through the trials and tribulations of being a WWE fan. The snags that come with venturing through the dark wilderness that is being a professional wrestling fan.
Is that right?
Yes. You need guides like us to brave the wilds that is the Peacock subscription service, to make it through the dark, unforgiving jungle that is Money in the Bank, to get to the juicy center and drink and let the juices run down at your chin.
What the fuck are you talking about?
And live one day in the sun like a man, Kay. To live like a man.
Or a woman.
Or a woman.
Or someone who's gender fluid.
Or someone who's gender fluid. That's what I'm talking about.
I see. Wait, so there's a juicy...
To live.
There's a juicy center to your forest that we're guiding them through? Is that where this is going?
The fruit at the center of the forest.
Oh, okay. Like a fruit tree? There's a fruit tree in this forest in the center?
Right.
Okay. Okay, cool. So let's get to Money in the Bank.
So first...
Get into the fruit.
We're going to talk about the WWE... I believe now they're calling it the Undisputed Women's Tag Team title. Or the Unified Women's Tag Team title.
Why can't they just call it the Women's Tag Team title?
Well, because they went through the trouble of unifying the Women's World Tag Team title with the NXT... with the...
Yeah, with the
NXT Women's Tag Team title.
No, I get that, but why can't they just now call it the WWE Women's Tag Titles, because they're the only ones now?
Because now it's undisputed or whatever.
They just love... Do you think they're just like obsessed with the word undisputed?
Yes.
It's really annoying.
Well, because they want to pretend like AEW doesn't even exist.
Oh, so they feel like undisputed is like a jab at AEW?
I think so.
That's so stupid.
I think so. So
is that what we're starting with?
Yeah. So we have the champions, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, and they are defending against Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan, the former champions who had to relinquish the titles when Liv Morgan got injured. So who do you have winning this one?
First of all, I just want to point out, that's a really quick recovery from whatever injury she had. Like, it's only been a few weeks.
It's been weeks, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been weeks, but only a few weeks. Like, it hasn't been, 6 weeks, I don't think. Has it been 6 weeks?
I think it has, yeah.
Really?
I'd say
okay,
so.
It seems like she hasn't been gone that long. So I have the champions retaining here. So I have Ronda and Shayna pulling the win, because I don't see any reason to take the belts off of them at this point. I feel like they're going to be the strongest team to head the division.
Yeah, they're a good team. I like Ronda and Shayna. They're heels, so I don't know if we're supposed to like them, but I do. They do good work. They're tough ladies.
I like them more than Liv and Raquel.
Oh yeah,
they're way better.
Yeah, they're tough ladies, and it gets across in their matches. They seem imposing. They seem like they could beat up a lot of the guys for sure. And I like that. I like that in a gal.
So who do you have?
I have Ronda and Shayna retaining the titles, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Liv and Raquel, I don't see them staying together as a team. And that's kind of one of the problems with the women's tag team division, is that these women, they lose the belts and they don't stay together as a team. And that's one of the reasons that the division hasn't been able to get its footing.
Mm-hmm.
Is because the only team that really sticks around is the champion and like the immediate challenger.
Yeah.
And then all the other teams seem to just kind of dissipate as soon as they are out of the title picture. They just fall apart or are broken up or whatever.
Well, I think too, like, they seem randomly put together.
Yeah.
And they don't have a tag team name. Like, even our champions don't have a tag team name. Like,
That's
if you
fine.
look at the men's tag teams that have stuck together, you have the Viking Raiders, who have a theme or a gimmick or whatever, and a name.
You got a lot of teams. Are you gonna go name all the tag teams?
No, I'm just pointing out them and the Street Profits. You know, like, there aren't any women's teams that have a gimmick that are together that, like, stick together at all.
Well,
Like,
you
there
got
are none.
the witches.
But they just got here from NXT, I'm not counting them.
Yeah.
Like, how long do you think they're going to keep them together? You had Damage Control, I guess, but they're breaking up, so...
Yeah, they seemingly are breaking up. And they have nothing to do with the tag team division anymore.
Well, it's because Dakota Kai's hurt, yeah.
But yeah, I would love to see a vibrant women's tag team division, but like I said, that's what happens. WWE keeps splitting these teams up as soon as they lose the belts. Or maybe they'll give them, like with Liv and Raquel, I bet they give them one more shot and they lose and then that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I bet they're just going to go their separate ways.
Yeah.
And this is what happens. We keep seeing it over and over again. And that's why the division can't get its footing, is because they don't keep the teams together.
It's also been, like, plagued with injuries, hasn't it?
That too.
Yeah.
That too. But the bigger problem is not keeping the teams together.
Yeah.
That's a way bigger problem than any other thing you want to name with the women's tag division is keeping the teams together.
Lack of options, lack of women. I feel like that's a big thing too. They have a sizable roster, but if you're trying to fill a tag division and a women's solo division, they need more women.
Well, the women are there. The women are in NXT. The women are in Stardom. I mean, there are women in the world who can wrestle.
I know. I'm saying there aren't enough working for WWE.
Right. They need to sign some women.
They need to sign more women,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because you can't... I mean, they're just pulling... Even when their tag teams do exist, sometimes they're pulling women from existing tag teams to have singles matches because they need women to fill in these match roles, you know? So I think just signing more women makes sense. And before we move on with our predictions, we forgot to say, of course, the prediction championship belt is on the line. The current champ is Asa.
May.
And so these are going to be our official... We were on last week in wrestling, their predictions podcast, but the ones we picked today, if any are different, these are going to be our official ones for determining the belt.
Mm-hmm. Up next, we've got the... let me finish writing down here.
What are you writing? Oh, your
I'm writing
prediction?
our picks.
Okay. I have mine written down already.
Up next, the WWE Intercontinental Championship. We have Gunther representing Imperium, and he'll be accompanied by his henchmen, of course, Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci, and he's defending against Matt Riddle, who hopefully would have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn by his side to counteract those German goofballs. But, you know, the faces aren't always the smartest. You know, you would hope they would just come out and put an end to the interfering before it begins, but we'll see. Who do you have in this one, Kay?
Well, first of all, I have Sami and Owens not coming out with Riddle. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I have Gunther retaining. What about you?
Yeah, I have Gunther retaining. I think Riddle is he's been the United States champion for a minute. He was. He's deserving of the Intercontinental Championship, but I think they want to beat the Honky Tonk Man's record with Gunther. And if they keep it on him through, like, I don't know, September, October, November, something like that, then they'll have beaten the Honky Tonk Man's record. Mm-hmm. And WWE, at this point, it seems obsessed with records. They seem obsessed with erasing the old so that they can have these new records. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. I don't know anyone who seems to be impressed by them. Yeah. Like, I don't know anyone who seems to care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me either. And we know.
And, like, I love wrestling. Yeah. I don't care.
Yeah.
So,
do you think it's because, like, in basketball, there have been so many records recently that have been, like, broken? Like, with LeBron James, didn't he break, like... So, I mean, like, in real sports, they've been focusing on, like, the breaking of records.
No, I don't think it has anything to do with real sports. I think it's because in wrestling, we all know the numbers don't matter. We all know that it doesn't matter how long you held a championship. It's what you do in the ring that matters.
Yeah.
You could be the 50-time world champion and be a piece of shit in the ring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
true.
Mm-hmm.
If you got a bad promoter making you the world champion 50 times, you could be the world champion for 10 years and be terrible if you got a bad promoter.
Yeah, I didn't mean, like, is that why fans care? I meant, like, is that why Vince McMahon thinks that records are such a big deal? Because in the real sports world, they are kind of a big deal.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's
I'm
what
sure,
I meant.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. But, like I said, I don't know any wrestling fan who cares.
Yeah. I care that Gunther keeps the title because I think he's been a really awesome fighting champion, and
he's been a great champion.
His matches are so good that I want to keep seeing people go after him and after the belt.
Yeah, despite however long he's had it, he has been one of the best Intercontinental champions ever. So this should be a heck of a match, and ladder matches and whatever aside might end up stealing the show. May very well. It's going to be one of the 3 best matches of the night, I believe.
What? No.
No?
No.
One of the 3 best is not?
No, because I think Seth and Finn is going to be awesome. I think Dominic and Cody is going to be awesome. And I think the men's Money in the Bank is going to be awesome.
You think this will be the 4th best match of the night?
I think it'll be the 4th best match. Maybe 3rd, maybe. But I don't know. The men's Money in the Bank is usually pretty good.
Okay.
Maybe I'm thinking of Elimination Chamber, actually. But I feel like when they have, like, men's whatever matches, like table, ladder, stairs match, or some sort of gimmick match, I feel like they always, like, really, really bring it. Or at least try to. Mm-hmm. And with the weirdo mix they have in this year's Money in the Bank, I think it's going to be pretty good.
But yeah, so Gunther keeping the Intercontinental title, staying on this extended reign. I'll be interested in who finally gets to beat him for the title. It'll be a feather in the cap of whoever does.
Do you think it'll be Drew McIntyre if he ever comes back?
That would be a good way to go with it.
Yeah.
It would be a big... See, Drew McIntyre is past the Intercontinental title at this point. Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the big reasons why we're not seeing him is because they were having him fight for the Intercontinental title and shit. And he's like, man, I was world champion twice already. Mm-hmm. I was the world champion at WrestleMania. You want me fighting for the Intercontinental title? Go fuck yourself. Mm-hmm. I think that's how he feels, and I don't blame him. Because I see him as bigger than the Intercontinental title. I mean, it's beneath him, frankly.
I guess I agree. But then,
he's like larger than life. He's a world champion, and he can't fight for anything less. Mm-hmm. That's the way I see him.
Yeah.
He's cemented himself in that position, I think. Yeah. been a solid main eventer and great matches as a main eventer for years. And so he's earned that, yeah. I wonder if we'll see him back in WWE. Who knows?
Yeah.
The only way I would have Drew McIntyre beat Gunther for the Intercontinental title is if he did it on the way to winning the world title, you know?
Yeah.
And held both titles. That's the only way I would do it.
We don't need any more world champions with more than one belt.
Yeah, that's the only way I would do it.
Yeah.
Well, and then you vacate. What you would do is you do what you normally do and vacate the Intercontinental title and have a tournament or something. Yeah, so we both have Gunther keeping the title. And I say it's going to be a damn good match.
I think it'll be a good match. I just don't know if it's going to be the third best match on the show.
I say.
I mean, looking at the card, it'll probably be the third or fourth best match.
I say. So up next we have the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, taking on Dominic Mysterio of the Judgment Day, of course, accompanied by World Women's Champion, his mommy, Rhea Ripley.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you have in this one?
So, I have our hero, Dominic, winning this. I think there's no reason for Cody to win. I think Brock Lesnar is probably going to come out and interfere to build Brock and Cody for SummerSlam. Plus, I love Dominic and I want him to have a win, so I'm going to give it to him.
I think that's likely, but I think like I was saying on Dylan's show, I don't see any reason for making this match if Dominic isn't winning the match. So I pick, Dominic needs the win to continue on his streak of being hated. And man, this would make him more hated too, as if he gets a win over Cody. This would really do it.
Yeah.
The only way they could get him more hated is if he can brag about beating Cody, the most popular man in the WWE right now.
Yeah.
So this will be nice for Dominic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see Dominic winning. I don't think there's a chance Cody wins this. Like I said, I just don't see the point. It would kill Dom's character for him to lose.
Yeah, I agree.
It would kill him. Kill it.
Plus, his hair is so fabulous. How do you not give him the win?
Is that right?
Yeah, his hair is gorgeous. I love the mullet. It's like a power mullet, if that's a thing.
You don't like Cody's bleached blonde?
No, I thought I hated it until... Remember in AEW how he dyed his hair brown again for like a week? And then he went back to bleach blonde?
No, I don't.
Oh, yeah. He went back to brown very briefly. It was either in AEW or in WWE, but I'm pretty sure it was still AEW. And so I hated the blonde, but then he went back to brown, and then it just looked weird. And I missed the blonde, so I guess I like the blonde. I know you said it's supposed to be like his dad's hair, but it reminds me of Sting. Just because of how he has it cut. Like, it's not quite the flat top, but how short it is on the sides, it reminds me of Sting.
I say...
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail us with a hair conversation.
Yeah, so
Dominic Mysterio.
So Cody, I think it's more hard times for Cody Rhodes. Just another stumbling block on his path towards a world title that he will eventually get and complete the story. When that happens, a lot of people think WrestleMania 40. Maybe before then, I'm not sure, but he eventually will win a world title within the next year. That's for sure. I'd be shocked if he doesn't. Then what has all this been for? All this with Solo spiking him, and this with Brock Lesnar destroying him, and now he's going to lose to Dominic, and he's going to lose to Dominic. Trust me. So then what's it all been for? So, like I said, it's all part of this hard times, and then he prevails through it all, and it's a beautiful moment, Yeah. That's what I believe we're seeing.
This is the match where I feel the most confident about my pick, I think.
On On the pay-per-view?
On the pay-per-view. Like, out of the 7 matches, I feel like... Because some of these I'm kind of torn on, but I feel like this one, I feel like it's going to happen the way I think it's going to happen.
Well, I think the match that I'm most sure of, I don't know, is probably the women's tag team match.
Yeah.
Women's tag team championship.
I'm pretty confident on that, but then, like, in my head, I'm like, they really fucking love Liv Morgan. Like, it's possible that they just want to put a belt on her, and they want a belt to highlight Raquel Rodriguez's back, you know? So, while I'm fairly certain on that one, there is some, like, in my head, like, a possibility of Shayna and Ronda not winning it, you know? So what match is up next?
The women's Money in the Bank. So we have a good field for this one. We have some newcomers. We have some former champions. We have former world champion Becky Lynch. We have newcomer Zoe Stark. Zelina Vega, who is a relative newcomer to WWE.
She's Queen of the Ring, isn't she?
Queen of the Ring, yeah. We have former world champion Bayley. Relative newcomer Io Sky to WWE, not to wrestling.
Yeah.
Relative newcomer to WWE. Former world champion, legend, WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus.
Legend? Is she a legend?
She is, yes. Whether you like her or not, she is a legend, yes.
Does being a Hall of Famer, like, automatically make you a legend? Or does there have to be some sort of, like, is there a criteria for legend?
Being loved by millions.
That makes you a legend?
Makes you a legend, yes.
Even if you're loved for not your wrestling skills?
Yes.
Okay.
You really don't like Trish Stratus. So,
no, I don't.
Who do you pick for women's Money in the Bank?
Not Trish Stratus. So I'm picking Io Sky. I think that we have slowly seen the cracks forming in, not Judgment Day, what are they called? Damage Control. Especially between her and Bayley since Dakota Kai's not around. So I see this being like the final hit of the hammer that cracks them all the way down the middle. And I just really, really want to see an Io Sky Asuka feud. So this is the way to make that happen, or an easy way to make that happen. So that's what I'm rooting for.
That would be great to see. I'm conflicted in this match. There are a couple different ways I could see it going. I could see it going several different ways, in fact. There are good reasons for everyone. For almost everyone. Becky Lynch. You know, obviously she's one of their more popular women. She's never won Money in the Bank, so this would be a kind of another career highlight for her. Zoe Stark has a surprise factor. She could win it. Zelina Vega has the popularity, kind of the darling. She's popular now with the LWO, and she was very much embraced by the WWE universe with the whole homecoming at Backlash in Puerto Rico. A very touching moment. They could capitalize on that, on her current popularity. Bayley, former world champion, she could win it at any time, of course. And we could see the end of Damage Control and Bayley screwing Io Sky out of it. Mm-hmm. Just the same way we could see Io Sky triumphing over Bayley and breaking up Damage Control.
That's true, but I want Io to have it so she can go after Asuka.
I understand.
Yeah.
I'm just outlining these. Mm-hmm. And, of course, we could see Trish Stratus win it because they're trying to push Trish as a heel right now. and having Trish as a heel, and maybe eventually making Becky the champion again, and having Trish going after champion Becky, or having the briefcase while Becky's the champion, could be a way that they go. I don't know. So like I said, I could see any of these ladies for a good reason getting it. However, I'm picking Io Sky, same as you.
Okay.
Because some because of want. That's who I'm going for. That's who I'm cheering for too. Oh, we usually do the who are you cheering for? Who are you?
I just realized that.
We usually do that.
Well, so far everyone I've picked is also who I'm cheering for.
Really? We'll do it. We'll do it in a second. Let's finish this match.
Okay.
But so Io, I think it's her time. And I think it would. The crowd at Backlash loved her. Remember, they were insane over Io Sky. So it's there. She has the ability to be a face. That's for sure. I mean, she is very talented,
and she seemed like
she's more talented than most of the men on the roster.
Yeah, she seemed like she was like thriving in the face
she
light
was.
too.
Yes,
she
was. She definitely was.
Love to see that on a regular basis.
That was one of the best performances of the year in WWE, and I don't mean best female performances of the year. I mean one of the best performances of the year. Period in WWE.
Yeah,
was Io Sky at Backlash. So I think rewarding her would be a great move, and giving her the Money in the Bank. And I would love to see an Io Sky versus Asuka feud. Maybe they'll give it to us, hopefully.
I just really want them to yell at each other in Japanese a lot. I think that would be great for the build,
So we'll go back real quick and we'll do the who are you going for? Who'd you pick? So we both have picked the same people so far. So women's tag team match, Ronda and Shayna.
Yeah, I'm going for Ronda.
You're going for Ronda and Shayna.
Yeah.
Me too. Intercontinental, Gunther versus Matt Riddle.
I'm going for Gunther.
You're going for Gunther?
Yeah. Are you going for Matt Riddle?
I can't decide yet. I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
Cody versus Dom.
I'm for Dominic. You're going to root against Dominic Mysterio? He's our hero. We refer to him as our hero, Dominic Mysterio, and you're going to cheer against him? You're crazy.
I'm probably for Cody in that one.
I knew you were going to say that.
Probably for Cody in that one, yeah.
You had the look of betrayal on your face, so I figured you were
I don't think he's going to win.
Yeah.
I don't think there's... I think Dom's winning that one. And like you said, whether it's Brock comes or something happens, something's happening and Cody's losing that match. Yeah. Not fairly.
Yeah,
it's
not
not
fairly.
cleanly losing to Dominic.
No, yeah.
Obviously, but he is losing. And then, we're both going for Io Sky?
Hell yeah, I'm going
and
for
picking
Io
Sky.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Like, there's not even, like, another woman in the match that I would want to see them win it.
Yeah.
Like I am 100% for Io Sky. Yeah, like, I don't want to see any of the other ones with the briefcase.
And I'll tell you what, interesting fact, almost every woman to win Money in the Bank has cashed in less than 24 hours. There's only just a couple that haven't. And the longest was Carmella. I think it was like 287. It was 278 or 287, one of those days that she went. Remember Mella is Money? She had that briefcase for fucking ever.
Yeah, that's because that song was that gimmick was so awesome.
Yeah.
She had like the money tights.
She had that briefcase forever.
Was that when James, what was his name? Elroy?
James Ellsworth.
Ellsworth, there we go. Is that when he won it for her?
Right.
The first
But then they redid it.
The first ever Money in the Bank and a fucking man wins.
Well, the first ever women's Money in the Bank.
Well, that's what that's what I meant.
And a man won.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then they redid it.
Because they realized that was the stupidest thing that they could have possibly done.
Yeah. That was pretty lame.
The only thing that could have been worse was if a woman tried to get the briefcase down, but it was too heavy, so she couldn't do it. It's the only thing they could have done that would have been worse than a man getting it down, I think.
Or she chipped a nail. And
then started crying. And
a man had to help her back down the ladder.
WWE, sometimes like their heart's in the right place, but their brain's just like up their ass, you know?
All right, so now the men's Money in the Bank. We got Ricochet, LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura, Santos Escobar, Butch, Damian Priest, Logan Paul. None of them have ever been world champion. So we have quite an interesting field, especially compared to last year where we had several former world champions in it. We have no former world champions in it. So somebody's going to get a shot this year. So that's pretty cool. What's not so cool is Logan Paul's in it. So
he's a good wrestler.
Okay, who do you pick?
I pick Logan Paul. Not because I'm rooting for Logan Paul, but because I think that marketing-wise, it's the smartest move for WWE. Whether he cashes it in that night for the belt or whether he carries it around. I don't think he's cashing it in that night. But whether he carries it around for the next year on all of his YouTube videos or whatever it is that he does outside of WWE. I am not familiar with him except for WWE. But I know he's famous for doing something influencery, so he can pass his Money in the Bank briefcase views to all the influencers. So I think that WWE is going to pick him. I, however, am going for Butch. Mm-hmm. He's a weirdo in the ring, and I love it. And I would love for him to be able to have a little bit of a push, or at least acknowledge him as a contender for something. I realize he's very small, so the chances of him winning this are like 1%, but he's who I'd like to see win it. Although I'm pretty much okay with all of anyone in the match winning it, so there's no one in the match that I don't like.
There's someone in the match I don't like.
Yeah, so but I'm basing this on their wrestling. All of these men can wrestle.
Sometimes it's not about the wrestling. So I'm predicting Logan Paul. I think, pretty much what Kay just said. WWE wants to cross-brand and have their briefcase logo smeared across his videos and whatever else the fuck he does. And he wants to smear his logo feces across WWE programming too. And it's just the logo smearing everywhere.
Gross.
Yeah, it is gross.
No, you made that real gross.
So I think Logan Paul wins the fucking briefcase.
Who are you for?
I'm for Ricochet. I think Ricochet is one of the most entertaining wrestlers in the WWE. And it would be nice to see him get rewarded for it for a change.
So far, yeah. All our picks are the same so far.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which is not usual.
Yeah.
Not usual. World title match. We have World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins defending against Finn Balor of the Judgment Day. It's a very Judgment Day heavy pay-per-view.
Fuck yeah. All pay-per-views should be.
Mm-hmm. So, of course, the big story in this match, 7 years ago, the battle for the first Universal Championship was Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins. During the match, Seth Rollins did what's usually called the buckle bomb, where he does a power bomb into the turnbuckle. He did that move on Finn Balor, but he did it on the protective guardrail outside of the ring, and it broke Finn's shoulder. Several things related to the shoulder. Yeah. Tore his bicep. Several things. Just messed it all up. And Finn finished the match, won the Universal Championship, became the first Universal Champion, and then after finding out the extent of his injury, had to relinquish the belt the next night on Raw. So he also became the shortest reigning Universal Champion, unfortunately. And then just as he headed back up the entryway after giving away his Universal title belt to Mick Foley at the time, who was there standing and laughing in his face, Seth Rollins with a stupid fucking laugh.
You do it. Oh, that's scary. I think both of us are terrible at doing the Seth Rollins laugh, but there you are.
So that's the feud.
It's a good feud. Like, it's a good reason. Like,
and if you missed the video package that WWE did for Finn Balor Monday night on Raw, go find it. I bet it's on YouTube or WWE.com somewhere. They did a great job of explaining what I just said. But if you see the video package, it really hammers it home. It does a great job of explaining it. And Finn talks. Yeah, Finn explains it.
And his acting in it is great.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Because he lived it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's great, and he does it in character too. So it really sells it. So I'm looking forward to this match.
Me too.
I want to see Finn Balor rip him limb from limb.
I think
and walk away with the World Heavyweight title.
Are you picking Finn?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, after you talked me out of picking Finn, you're gonna pick him?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm afraid that I don't think WWE is taking the belt off of Seth Rollins this soon after making him World Heavyweight Champion. I think they want him to have a little run with the title here at first, just to solidify it a bit longer. I don't see them taking it off him this soon. I think there's a chance, but I don't think there's a good chance.
Do you think that Judgment Day is going to get involved in the match at all? Like, do you think... Because I know all of Judgment Day except Rhea has a match this night, but do you think...
I think they might with Priest maybe fucking it up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Because I think Priest is turning face.
Yeah.
He's leaving and is going to turn face,
yeah.
I think.
I also have the same feeling about him, that he is going to be out of Judgment Day. So I thought maybe he could cost Finn the match, which maybe could give them a reason for Finn to continue to go after Seth even after losing, and then do Seth and Finn at SummerSlam. That would be nice.
That would be nice.
Maybe Demon Finn.
Right.
Since Demon Finn is the one who got the Universal title in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I just really love Demon Finn and want to see him as many times as possible.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. They had Roman Reigns pretty much kill that character.
They've had everyone kill that character. Remember when he used to be undefeated as the Demon? That was beautiful.
Yeah, it was awesome.
They make some poor decisions sometimes.
Yes, they do.
Like, they come up with awesome characters and then they just, like, murder them.
Well, I'm fine with him being undefeated, but with him not being undefeated, rather. But I just didn't like some of the ways that they did it.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
Yeah. Well, they did the same thing with the Fiend. Like,
yeah, that's a different
he's okay
thing.
with losing eventually, but like the way that they had him lose the first time was so stupid. You know.
Yeah, it's a different thing altogether.
Yeah. So I also have Seth winning this, although like this is the hardest. This was the one that was the hardest for me to pick. I think because my heart is like
this
so
is
in it for Finn.
This is the hardest match to pick. This or the This or the women's Money in the Bank were the hardest to pick, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
What were you saying, though? I'm sorry.
It's okay. I feel like it's too early for Seth to lose the belt.
Yeah.
But because the whole point of this belt existing is because the other dude who has the belts that were like the real belts won't let go of them and is like holding on to them for forever, it kind of makes sense to have a belt that's a world title level that does change hands. And so that's where I've been struggling. Like, is it too soon for him to lose the belt? Because, man, would I love to see Finn just take this, you know? And just be like, in your fucking face, stupid Seth Rollins.
I would love it.
Fake CM Punk, you know?
I would love to see him win it.
Yeah.
It would be a big pop for me. It would be the biggest pop since Kofi won the fucking title.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
It would be great. It'd be a big thing.
I don't know, when Sammy and KO won the tag titles this year at Mania, that got a big pop.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Not quite Kofi level, but I definitely yelled out loud and held my arms in the air.
Mm-hmm.
As one does when watching wrestling.
It was good. It was a good moment.
Yeah. All right, so that leads us to...
It leaves the main event, the Bloodline Civil War.
Bum, bum, bum.
On this side, we have the undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns and his cousin Solo Sikoa, accompanied by the wise man Paul Heyman. Opposing them, the multi-time tag team champions, the Usos, who are now out of the bloodline. Kay, who do you choose?
I'm choosing the Usos.
Why?
Because fuck Roman Reigns.
Wow.
Fuck him in his stupid head.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell him you said that.
That's fine. Feel free.
I don't know.
No, yeah. He's probably kind of scary, so I'm
He's
okay.
probably nice. He's probably
He
charming.
seems nice, yeah. There's lots of videos of him, laughing and, doing, silly, stupid shit online with Seth Rollins. And it kind of, kills the idea of that character for me. I saw them, singing some sort of, girl pop song in the car together. And it really takes the oomph out of that Superman punch or whatever when you see that, you know?
Mm-hmm. But, so you pick Roman, or you pick the Usos?
I picked the Usos.
Really?
Yeah.
I pick Roman and Solo. We were talking on Dylan's show Last Week in Wrestling, which, if you don't watch his podcasts or listen, sometimes he does audio podcasts, sometimes he does video. It's called Last Week in Wrestling. You should check him out. Or at LWIW Podcast on Twitter. On his show, what I said was Roman and Solo are going to win because Roman needs to get back control of the situation, because it needs to show that Roman is still in control of the situation.
But
he needs to show the Usos, yes, he is. He needs to show the Usos that he's still in control of his own situation, being the world title, being him and Heyman and Solo protecting the world title. It's all about the belt.
Yeah.
It's all about the belt.
Do you see him winning cleanly? Because something that...
I don't know. I don't see anybody else interfering.
So you don't think... So some people on the podcast last night suggested that some people are coming from New Japan.
Yeah, he said
members.
something about... Yeah, someone else on the podcast said something about Gorillas of Destiny. Is that what they were called?
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, GOD, Gorillas of Destiny, whom I've never heard of. He says they're part of that family, and he thinks they're going to get involved. I'm not going to say such a thing. I've never heard of them. I have no idea who they are. I could have researched. I didn't. I'm assuming they're not getting involved. I don't know why they would get involved at this late stage in this story. So I'm going to look into them, but I'm not predicting that someone I've never heard of is getting involved in this match. No.
Someone that you've never heard of and doesn't work for the company.
Right?
Yeah.
No, I don't think we're seeing somebody debut in this match. No, I don't see that.
Is this where we see the return of Tamina?
Now that would be a great surprise. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
That would be a great surprise. It would be a welcome surprise. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
I just don't see it happening.
And you don't think former family or current family members that are former wrestlers, so like Rikishi?
I mean, it would make some sense though. It would make a deal of sense
to add new family members since they lost some. Yeah,
it would make sense.
I think it would be really cool.
It would be cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm all for it happening. I hope it does happen. I hope he's right. I just don't think he's right.
Yeah.
So no, I see Roman and Solo winning.
And who do you want to win?
I want the Usos to win. Yeah, definitely.
I also want the Usos to win.
I mean, I love this story. I love cheering against Roman. The story is really entertaining. It really has been, the Bloodline. It's held my interest. And it's been unpredictable, and I can't believe I'm still interested in it, but I am, because it has been unpredictable, but it has made sense. The paths it's gone down, they've made sense. It's gone this way and zagged that way and zigged this way, but it's never gone into silliness. Even when they had honorary Uce Sami Zayn, which was a bit silly. They didn't play it as silly. That was the big deal. They didn't play it as silly, even though it was silly, if that makes sense. They played it straight, even though it was a silly thing. But the storyline hasn't devolved into silliness or surprises just for the sake of surprises or any of that sort of thing. It's been logical, but has still been surprising, and that's what has been so good about it, is that they're not doing swerves just for the sake of doing a swerve. They're doing things that make sense for the characters and for the story, and that's why it's been such a good piece of wrestling storytelling. That's why it's been so popular, I think, is that it really is good storytelling, which, whoever it is, hats off, because it's working. I mean, and there's so much other dumb shit that happens in this company.
Yeah.
It's a wonder that it keeps making it through. The Bloodline stuff keeps making it through.
Do you think there's like one writer that like all he does or she does is the Bloodline?
Yes, I do.
And that's why everything else is so dumb?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. I thought Judgment Day stuff was pretty good.
Yeah. Judgment Day stuff is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I've heard, Michael Hayes works a lot on it. If you remember from 1980s wrestling, Michael Pretty Sexy Hayes, member of the Fabulous Freebirds, former U.S. Tag Team and World Tag Team Champion. He supposedly has a lot to do with the Bloodline stuff. He's been a WWE road agent for many years. I know Triple H supposedly has a bit to do with it. And of course some of the writers, and I believe that's who is doing most of it. I'm not sure how much Vince McMahon has to do with it. I haven't heard his name involved with it, honestly, so I'm not sure. But hats off, because it's done well for them, and it's good. I think it's good. And like I said, I'm interested. I'm interested to see how it ends. And it can still go a lot of different ways. And it's still been interesting. And I don't know what way they're going to take us down. If the Usos win, it can go a very different way than if Roman and Solo win. If the Usos win, then Roman still has his belt, but he suffered a setback. He suffered a loss, you know. And then the question is, does Roman take the pin? Does Solo take the pin? Because then we've got a different story, whichever way it goes, that way to explore. You know, so we got all these different avenues the story can go, dependent upon how this match ends. So it's real interesting to me, just as somebody who thinks about wrestling. Just it's nice to have something in wrestling to think about.
Yeah.
for a change.
Do you think that Solo is eventually going to turn on Roman?
Oh yeah, eventually Roman will be alone.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, Roman will be all alone.
But you don't think that's happening yet?
I don't think that's happening yet.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, me either.
No, eventually Roman will be all alone. And he'll lose his title, and then he won't even have that.
For some reason, so the phrase "all alone."
Are you about to cry for Roman Reigns?
What? No.
Is that a tear?
What? No, I'm thinking about Pennywise the dancing clown. Whenever I hear the phrase "all alone," I hear it in Pennywise's voice. Yeah, exactly. So now I'm like picturing Roman Reigns like being shrunken down by next to like a giant Pennywise the clown. All alone. So
yeah, he'll be all alone, and will lose his belt. We won't have that, and that, of course, is when his family, the Usos, will come back to him.
So you don't think he's losing the belt to an Uso?
He may. He may.
Because then what's going to happen with Cody if one of the Usos wins the belt? They're faces now. So is Cody's story never finished, or it's going to take like another year to finish it because the belt has to go to someone else first?
Cody's story, Cody doesn't have to beat Roman for his story, quote unquote, to be finished.
Yeah, no.
It would be nice for Cody to get that win back, and I think he will at some point. But he doesn't have to beat Roman for it to, you know, that win, that tainted victory that Roman got at WrestleMania 39 over Cody wasn't personal. It was just another in a long line of bodies, you know, that's been left in the wake of this family trying to keep Roman with a belt or two belts or three belts or however many, the blue belt and the red belt and the yellow belt and however many fucking belts they give Roman.
It's gold.
However many, this family trying to keep Roman with all the multicolored belts. It's not something to take personally for Cody. And I don't think his character took it as personally.
Oh, no, I don't either. But I'm saying if the Usos win it from Roman, the Usos are faces, Cody is a face. Are they going to do a face versus face feud for the belt? Like, did they do that? Where they have two faces face each other?
No, I don't think they would do that. I don't think. No, I mean.
So then my point is, like, if they have the belts, then someone else has to win it off the Usos.
And then Cody could get it.
After it?
Okay. Possibly.
Yeah.
Or Cody could be the guy to take it off of him.
I want it to be an Uso. I mean, I want Cody to beat Roman eventually. I want Cody to have the belt eventually. But I feel like it needs to be Jimmy or Jay or Solo that takes the belt off Roman.
I don't know how I feel.
I think Jay would be the best choice. Because we've already seen Jimmy stand up to him, you know? And Jay's, like, sided with his brother and super kicked Roman. But we haven't seen, like, him be, like, victorious over him, you know? And I feel like we need to see that with all that they've gone through. So what's your match of the night?
Match of the night. If I had to bet, I'd probably say it's going to be. Man, I'd probably say it's going to be Finn versus Seth.
That's what I think.
I think there's so much emotion going into that match, and those two are so skilled in the ring. I think that's a good mix of things.
Yeah.
I think those two are going to have a very good match.
Yeah.
Very close. I was very close to saying the men's Money in the Bank. But I think I'm going to say Finn versus Seth for the world title. Yeah. As the match of the night.
Okay.
So yeah, pretty good show, looks like. Lots of intrigue, as we talked about with the Bloodline, as always, with the Bloodline. Lots of intrigue. Who wins the Money in the Bank? Do they fucking cash it in on Roman Reigns after the Bloodline match? After he's had this war with his family?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Does somebody come and cash it in on Roman,
Or Seth. I mean, he's gonna...
Or Seth.
Or Seth.
Or Finn.
Yeah.
Yeah, does Logan Paul walk out with the goddamn belt? And do I never watch WWE again?
Does Damian Priest walk out with the bat with the briefcase and then cash it in on Finn, thus putting a wedge in Judgment Day and breaking them apart? Also possible, unlikely, but possible.
I find that that's not going to happen.
I know. I don't think it's just a possibility. So,
what's the most interesting thing that could happen, briefcase-wise, for the men?
I think I just said it. That would be the most interesting to me.
I think it would be most interesting if Ricochet wins the Money in the Bank, and then the Bloodline have this 40-minute tag team classic. Roman Reigns gets busted open, and after 5 Superman punches, he finally puts down his brother, Jay. And then, what do we hear from the back? One and only. Pew! And then here comes Ricochet. Roman's face looking all haggard, blood running down it, and sweat pouring down. Is like, what the fuck? And here comes Ricochet flying off the ropes.
I think my crazy Judgment Day idea has a better chance than what you just said.
Ricochet comes in.
You think Ricochet is going to dethrone
No,
Roman
I don't think
Reigns?
so. But I would fucking love it. Yeah. I would fucking love it. Talk
point,
about what would usher in just a new era in the WWE?
Having a flippy person as the world.
Having a flippy person as the world champion. What would usher in say it's a new day in the WWE? Mm-hmm. Having Ricochet as having one of your most athletic men as the world champion. Yeah, he just comes to the ring and gets on the ring apron. He looks Roman Reigns dead in the eye, and he hops to the top turnbuckle. He jumps off, missile drop kicks Roman Reigns right in the face. He hops back on the top turnbuckle, 630 splash right on the Roman Reigns. The pin, the 3 count. Ricochet is the new world champion. He takes all those belts Roman Reigns has, takes them from Paul Heyman, takes them all, celebrates. We have a new day. It's a beautiful new reign as world champion. And then, from the back, some bodies emerge. Who is it? One by one, lining up to meet the new champion. It's Finn Balor. It's Rhea Ripley. It's Dominic Mysterio. It's Damian Priest. It's the Judgment Day. You have now these new top level, this new generation of heels facing off against this new generation world champion. And the stage is set all right in the path of the now fallen world champion Roman Reigns in the wake of the Bloodline. What do you think?
Like, do I think that sounds fun, or do I think that's...
Do you think it sounds fun?
I mean, it sounds fun. Do I think there's a chance in hell that's what's happening? No, I do
I
not.
didn't say that's what's happening. I said that's what I want to happen.
I see.
That's what I want to happen.
Interesting.
But I don't think that's what's going to happen.
No, I also don't think that's what's going to happen.
So, looks like a good show.
Uh-huh.
It's at 3 p.m., so that's fun.
Yeah, we can actually stay up to watch the whole thing and not be tired.
Well, you can actually
I can actually stay up to watch the whole thing and not be tired.
So, that'll be fun. But yeah, remember, folks, it's a Saturday at 3 p.m. It's not Sunday night at 8 like most pay-per-views. It's Saturday at 3 p.m.
So you can watch both the Money in the Bank and Collision, a day full of wrestling.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, Collision, AEW Collision comes on at 8. So yeah, it'll be an awesome Saturday. I'm not sure if Collision has announced any matches yet, but I'm sure it'll be a good show. It's AEW. 95% of their shows are good.
The Owens Cup men's tournament.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah,
there are 3 Owen Hart Cup tournament matches on it. Yeah, we know those 3. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this has been your Money in the Bank preview and prediction show. We picked all the same winners, which is not usual, except for 2. I picked Gunther to retain the Intercontinental title.
So did I.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. We picked all the same winners except 1. I'm sorry. In the main event, I picked Roman Reigns and Solo to win, and Kay picked the Usos to win. That's the only match we disagreed on. So it'll all come down to that. Who wins the Glorious Predictions Championship belt? So, folks, you will next be able to hear from us tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. We
do your Thursday Dynamite recap and review. Wherever you listen to podcasts, subscribe. That is how you make sure you don't miss a show. You'll hear from us Sunday, too. You know, we're going to do our Collision show. We're going to do a Money in the Bank recap. And wherever you listen to podcasts, also review us. Leave 5 stars, 5 bones, 5 whatever they will let you give us. So also make sure to follow us on Twitter at No Bones Wrestling. That's at No Bones Wrestling with an R, RASSLIN, and at Kay Fabulous 80. That's at KAY Fabulous 80. And also look for No Bones About Wrestling on Twitch. I am twitching the new AEW video game. It is finally, believe it or not, finally out, and it is fantastic. It's called AEW Fight Forever. I have it on the Xbox One, and I will be twitching it like crazy. So look for me on Twitch a lot in the coming weeks under No Bones About Wrestling. That's the end of my plugs, I think. So, as McFoley would say, have a nice day. Bye.